I had a feeling this would happen. In fact, I had originally planned to do a video on the very subject of will the Vikings end up signing Daniel Jones? I ultimately decided to hold back on doing that just because in my gut, it felt like it was inevitably going to happen as soon as today, making the original video that I had planned to do utterly useless. And alas, it happened. The Vikings, they are, or not are, they have signed Daniel Jones. He's going to start off on the practice squad as this video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. He's going to make $375,000 the rest of this season. He's going to have to be on the active roster at some point to get a comp pick, which every time I see discussions on compensatory picks as far as the formula and what needs to happen for this player upon their departure for this team to get a comp pick, that stuff just goes way over my head. I'm like, all right, I'm going to trust the experts over there at Spotrac and Over the Cap. But that benefit of getting a comp pick potentially with Daniel Jones eventually leaving this team after 2024, that's huge for Minnesota. When you consider how few picks they already have in 2025 after the multiple trades they did before the 2024 draft. In 2025, you've got a first, two fifths, and also, according to Over the Cap, it's expected that the Vikings will also get a third round compensatory pick with the departure of Kirk Cousins going to the Atlanta Falcons. So if you can add a pick on top of that, that's what, four right now. If you can get an additional compensatory pick to have five total picks going into next year's draft, I'm all for it. I do believe that that is the singular advantage with this transaction, with the Vikings signing Daniel Jones, that this is the only benefit with this move. And I say that because of the quarterback room this year and next year, what I believe will be the future plans starting in 2025. So Sam Darnold, obviously the QB1, the remainder of the year. KOC trusts Nick Mullins like his son, and I don't blame him for that simply because he's super familiar with the system. He's done a pretty good job the two times that he came in for the injured Sam Darnold, that I don't believe Daniel Jones is a threat to either of those spots. I don't think we'll see him on the field at all in a Vikings uniform. We'll see him on the sideline, sure, but on the field, probably not. But I think Daniel Jones has everything to gain by coming to Minnesota. Yes, Adam Schefter reported that Daniel Jones was not interested in joining a bottom feeder team to compete for a starting quarterback spot. He wants to join a contender. And for any team through their first 11 games that has a record of 9-2, you would say, yeah, that's a contender, obviously. But beyond that, I think Daniel Jones understands what's at stake here. He is universally considered to be another first round quarterback bust, former 6th overall pick, and that trying to be a starter immediately, say for the Vegas Raiders or some bum ass team like that, isn't going to do anything for him beyond this season. He's thinking long term, that he understands that I got to get back into the lab. I need to begin my redemption arc. And he also is very aware that the best place to do that, to become the best version of himself as an NFL quarterback, the best place to do that is none other than Minnesota. Look at Sam Darnold. We've talked about this for how long now? That this is the place to be for any quarterback to pick up and be the best version of themselves. Sam Darnold, also considered a first round quarterback bust, former 3rd overall pick, was after the Jets a journeyman, just going around. His career is over. Backup quarterback at best. And yes, he leads the league in turnovers, which is not great, but also he's having his career best season. The proof is in the pudding. And Daniel Jones is sitting there saying, I want some of that. That I'm going to be studying. I'm going to be practicing with these guys. I'm going to understand the concept of quarterback reads better. everything that these guys are doing over there in Minnesota, I'm going to gain some of that knowledge. So then, wherever I go after this season, I am going to give myself the best chance to succeed. And shout out to KOC. The culture, everything. Hey, man, sign up for BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. Get a 150% bonus on your first deposit and a 125% bonus on your next two deposits up to $2,000. Just use the promo code YouTube150 KOC plus 325 to be Coach of the Year behind Dan Campbell. And I think if KOC doesn't get it, as much as I am not a fan of his situational play calling, I think it would be a crime. He should be the front runner for Coach of the Year. Dan Campbell and the Lions are doing everything that the Lions were expected to do. They came into this season being Super Bowl contenders. ESPN had the Vikings at 4 wins. They're going to triple that total at least. I think that's KOC's award to lose, in my humble opinion. But I can also see a scenario where this move was made in part, total speculation here. KOC, outside looking in, appears to be a genuinely good human being, a man with a big heart. And he himself, as a former NFL quarterback, has been through the ringer. He's faced many disappointments that he can relate to quarterbacks that are going through the struggle. And you see how he interacts with opposing quarterbacks after literally having to play and beat those opposing quarterbacks, offering up words of encouragement. I think he saw Daniel Jones down in the dumps and said, hey, man, listen, I've been through there. I get it. I want you to be successful. Here's what you need to do. And the domino effect that I think that is going to have, and I don't think KOC is planning this because he's just pure-hearted, but I can see it happening. Everyone's well aware of the success that Sam Darnold is having. Everyone is well aware of the fact that the Vikings are one of the best organizations to play for if you're a player. On top of what Sam Darnold is already doing, Daniel Jones soaking up as much knowledge, information as he can through instruction via Kevin O'Connell, that whatever it is that he ends up doing at his next job, his next team in 2025, if he's not awful, that just adds to the resume of how great of a place that Minnesota is. And you don't even have to be a quarterback. You can be a running back, an edge rusher, a linebacker, a tight end, seeing all this saying, hey, what he's doing over there for guys like Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, you see how he's playing right now? I want to be part of that. I want a piece of whatever positivity, of whatever impact that they've got going on over there. And I do think it's funny how it's come full circle, how the Vikings, Ed Donatel, and that defense helped Daniel Jones get that big contract. And now that Jones has been cut by the Giants, the Vikings ideally are helping him get his career back on track. Love it. Absolutely love it. I don't think there's anything to rip on with this signing. Daniel Jones, I've ripped on you for 2 years now, but the past is the past. Welcome to the official quarterback school of the National Football League. Shout out to the folks at BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. We'll see you next time.